I got a strange going on out here. Something just killed my dog.
Something killed your dog?
Hey, good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining the Cryptid Podcast. I'm your host, Dan. And you guys, for tonight's episode, it's kind of different. What I am going to be putting up is my personal encounter from 1992. Now, I spoke about this encounter with Josh over in Mysteries Unknown. And because I'm going to be out of town, I needed something to provide for you guys. So he is going to do a little editing and send me the files and stuff, and then I'm going to go ahead and upload them for you. So you'll see a different background, you'll see different environment, you'll see different clothes. So stop trying to play tricks on you guys. Just going to let you know that I'll be going over the 1992 encounter that I had, and that encounter was with my little brother, and that also is the encounter that pretty much changed the way I look at going off into the woods. Not leaving the designated trail, so to speak. So, but if you guys have had an encounter and you'd like to come on the show, please email me at thecryptidpodcast72@gmail.com, thecryptidpodcast72@gmail.com. And guys, thank you so much for all the support you show the show. I appreciate it. We do have a membership, $2.99 will get you early access to a Saturday episode, and I'll be posting those once a month. Again, it's $2.99. Members get early access to that Saturday show. And if you guys would like to, if you feel that the content that you're seeing on my channel is worthy, please subscribe, like, share, comment, and don't forget to hit those notifications so you guys know whenever I put something up new, which is every Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Well, without further ado, you guys, let's get into the story. Okay, so in 92, I was stationed in Germany, and my brothers graduated high school, and I wanted to be there more than anything. I told him I probably wouldn't be able to make it, but I was able to get leave, and I came home and surprised him. And one thing that my brother and I used to like to do is we'd get in the car, and we would just go. Didn't matter. I mean, we wound up in Arkansas a couple times, wound up in Mississippi a lot, wound up in Kentucky, Missouri. We just drive around, and this particular day we decided we want to just be together, spend time together. I'm proud of him. He's graduating high school. He's happy that I'm home, and we decided to we're going to do like an overnight camping trip. And so we knew this one spot that had some camping, and growing up, my brother and I, we would do this a lot. Mostly it was like in our backyard, or we'd go to an area where we knew there were some woods, and we'd camp in the woods. It wasn't too far from our home, and so we never really stayed in any set campground, so to speak. We'd always make up our own little camp area. And this area that we camped was right up along the Mississippi River. And so if we wanted to fish, we knew we could fish. So packed up everything we needed, had our backpacks, fishing poles and stuff like that. And we drove out to this area, and they had this is a pretty well-known area. And they had parking lot where people would park, and they'd go to a beach, whatever. And they'd go hiking through the trails and stuff there. So we parked our car and started hiking off into the woods. And it was, it wasn't like something we planned days before. It was like, hey, let's go camping. So it was pretty much like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And so not a problem. Got our stuff together, drove out there. Parked the car, walked down the road probably, maybe 150 yards to where the trailhead was. Walked down the trail, and then we knew we wanted to go off trail, so we went off to the trail. And about this time, it was getting a little later, probably about 4:30, 5 o'clock, around that time frame, something like that. And so the sun was still kind of up a little bit, but you can tell it was kind of getting lower, it's getting later in the day. And so we're walking through the woods. It's like maybe an hour into our walk, and my brother goes over to go to the bathroom. And so he's going to the bathroom, and I hear this whistle. And I'm like, I turn over, I go, yeah. I look over, I'm like, hey, what do you need? And he's like, well, what are you looking at, man? What are you looking at? And I go, man, um, I'm going to try to hold together, it's, uh, I go, man, did you hear that whistle? He's like, I thought it was you. And I go, no, man. I said, why would I whistle? And he got done. So we started walking some more, and we heard like this kind of rustling. And I'm like, man, I said, well, what was that? And he's like, I really don't know, and we probably walked about 15, 20 minutes from where he had gone to the bathroom. Like, well, man, I got to go. So I go start to relieve myself. Well, then we hear the same whistle. And no sooner did the whistle stop, my brother goes, that wasn't me. And I go, no, I know that wasn't you. I said, that's what I heard earlier. I don't know, a couple seconds into it, he's like, man, we got to go. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, I just saw something. And I go, what do you mean, well, you saw something? You saw someone or you saw something? He goes, I don't know, but I just saw something over that way. And I'm standing at a tree and I'm looking towards the river. So I'm trying to look at Tennessee. So I'm looking south. Okay. And he goes, well, he was pointing towards the east. And I go, what did you see? He goes, man, I couldn't really tell, but it's something like ducked behind a tree. I said, man, it's probably just someone messing with us. He's like, I don't think it was anybody messing. He said, there's a big thing, I go, well, maybe it's a shadow, a deer, or whatever. He's like, no, that's not what it was. So I got done and started walking towards the river again, and we're still a good ways from the river. And he goes, man, we got to go. I just saw it again. And I go, what are you talking about? He goes, I just saw it again. And I'm like, okay, let's go back. I said, by the time we get back, it's going to be dark. But, let's go. So we turn around. We start heading north back down through the woods. And we knew we were going to get to the trail probably in about 35, 40 minutes, maybe 45 minutes. And so we started going. And he's like, man, I'm not feeling good. I'm like, what do you mean I'm not feeling good? He goes, I don't know, man. I just got this. I feel like it's heavy. I feel heavy. Like I feel almost nauseous. And I go, well, are you okay? He's like, man, I don't know. And he like kneeled down and he goes, I'm not feeling good. I'm like, okay, well, hold on, man. I said, just take some deep breaths. I broke out a canteen. I take some drinks of water, and he took some drinks of water, and he kind of stood up, and then all of a sudden I get this feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling like, bro, you just gave it to me. And he's like, man, I'm not. He goes, are you feeling what I felt? I'm like, yeah. So I took some drinks and stuff and kind of stood up and kind of compose myself a little bit. And I go, man, we need to go. And so we started moving a little faster through the woods. And for some whatever reason, I felt like I had to go to the bathroom again. So as I'm starting to go to the bathroom, I'm getting ready to go. All he does is he reaches over and he grabs me and he pulls me as hard as he can. He just pulls me like almost off my feet. And this stick or branch, whatever, hits the tree right where my head was. It just like hit it and shattered. And I go, what was that? And my brother's like, I don't know, man, but I saw something throw it from over there. I go, man, someone's messing with this. So we start running. Well, then that's when we hear like a grunting. Like you could tell like something was running heavy, and you could hear it running. It was running pretty heavy, and you could like it's labored breath, like as it was running. And so we get to the trail and we start running as fast as we can through the trail. And now I know exactly how far we are from the trail. We're probably from the main road. We're probably 200 yards from the main road. And I know once we get to that paved road, we bank left, and we're about 100, 150 yards to the parking lot. Now, it's not like a straight shot. You got to kind of go around a bend of a road, and then there's the parking lot. And as we start running, we hear something moving quick alongside of us, right? And I go, Bobby, come on, we got to keep up. And I look at my brother, and he's gassed. He's a great football player. He did not have a lot of endurance. Okay, he's a bigger boy. He's like 6'2", like 270, 280, probably 300 pounds at the time. So he was laboring for air. I'm like, come on, man, we got to go. So I'm trying to help him along. He's like, man, I can't go. I can't go. And I'm like, man, you got to keep going. You got to keep going. He's like, no. He goes, go ahead. Just. He goes, tell mom I love her. Just go. I'm gonna make sure you get out of here. Just go. Tell mom I love her. And I'm like, no, man, you ain't. We're together in this. You and me. And he's like, come on, man, just go. I can't keep up with you. Just go. And I'm like, man, you got to. And so I grab him. And I'm pulling him along. I'm like, come on, man, we got this, man. We got this. We can do it. We can do it. Let's go. And he's going, and he's, I look at him, and he is just giving everything he's got. And we get to the road. And I'm like, Bobby, we're almost there, man. We got it. We can do it. Just keep doing it. And he's like, man, I'm tired. I can't go anymore. I'm like, no, we got to go. And he stops and he turns around, and I'm looking forward towards the road, and he's looking at me. So he's like between me and where we would have to run. And he's like, it just crossed the street behind us. I saw it cross the street. And he goes, I got a knife. Give me your knife. I'm going to wait for it. And I'm like, come on, let's go, man. We got it. And he's like, I can't go anymore. And I just looked at him. And I slapped him as hard as I could. And I just told him, I says, go. Take off running. I'll catch up with you. I know I'm quicker than you. Just go. Get a head start and go. So I took his knife and I took my knife. And I just stood there and I was like, come on. You want to go? Let's go. Let's dance. I'll give you everything I got. And I hear my brother, come on, let's go, let's go. And I look, and he's getting ready to go around the turn, the bend in the road, which is about 75 yards ahead. And I knew I could sprint that and catch up to him. So I take off on a dead run, and I hear something tearing through the road, or through the woods on the other side of. So if I'm running, it's on my right hand side. I hear something just like barreling through the woods. It's not a bear. There's no bear in this area. It didn't sound like a person. This thing was moving quick. Like it had attitude. Like it had purpose. And I'm at a dead sprint, and it felt like I was running in slow motion, but I know I was moving. And as I come around the bend, that my brother, he's almost to my car, and I just kick it in as fast as I can. And I'm at a dead sprint. He's sitting at the door, at the car now. He's like, open the door. And I had the keys in my pocket. I didn't have an automatic unlocker. So I'm dead run, and I Dukes of Hazzard across the hood of the car. I couldn't land it. I went up and landed on my back and my pack. Got up. I don't know how I got it, because the air got knocked out of me. The wind got knocked out of me. Was able to unlock the car. Threw everything in, jumped over, popped the lock on his car, on his door. He jumped in, threw his stuff in the back. I started it. I was already pulling out before he even had the door shut, and we took off. And as we took off, there's another road. As you go around, you have to go around. This road comes around, and then like there's like the woods that this thing was running in was between the road I ran on and then the road I'm driving on to leave this area. And he's looking, and he's like, faster. He's like, you got to go faster, because I can see it. It's right alongside of us. And I'm looking, and I don't see anything, but he's yelling at me to go faster. So I just put it down as fast as I could, as hard as I could. And we took off. came to the T stop. I didn't even stop. I turned left, and we got out of there. And that's the absolute last encounter I ever had.
Good grief, man. I don't even know where to start. First of all, I do want to say that thank you for being brave enough to come on here and share that encounter. And maybe not so much the encounter as scary as it was, but I know that involved your brother, and I know how much you loved your brother. And, that's a memory that you shared with him that nobody will ever be able to take from you. So thank you for sharing that with our audience. And, coming on here and talking about that, I wonder, I would love to know what your opinion is, but what do you think it wanted, and what do you think kept you guys from, getting killed that night or that day and making it out alive?
I have no idea. Honestly, I don't. And this is, you are the first person I've ever told this to. I've tried, and I just can't bring myself to talk about it. You have people that come in your life, and they're just a flash. And then you have people that come in your life that have an impact, And that day, my little brother showed me just who he was and what I meant to him and what he meant to me. And you hear people say, oh, I am my brother's keeper, or he's my ride or die, or whatever. And that just showed me that there was no doubt about that my little brother was willing to give everything just for me to have a chance. And no, I wasn't gonna let him do that. If anything, if it would have gone down another way, him and I would have been together, and I wouldn't want it any other way. And I know, if he was here, he'd try to play it off like he was Mr. Macho, and I mean, it is what it is. And anybody who watches this, you don't have to believe me. You don't have to buy what I'm selling. I know what happened. I know that. And it wasn't that I was afraid for myself. I was afraid for my little brother. Now, I'd already been in the military 2 years, so I felt like I was invincible. I had this training. I combat training, Air Force security police officer. I get to play with all the cool toys. And I thought I was 10 feet tall, and I'm telling you, with something like that, it humbles you real quick. I don't care how tough you think you are. Something like that will humble you real quick, honestly.
At this point, how I feel about these things, and the audience does. I don't think that they're good, and maybe there are like people sometimes you run into the right one and it'll be all right, but you run into the wrong one. I think they've got bad intentions, and you're gonna have a bad day. And you obviously ran into a wrong one that day, for whatever reason this thing wanted you out of there. But man, your brother obviously loved you, Daniel, and, would have done anything for you to protect you. But I know you enough that you would have been right there with him, and he knew that. But what an incredible story. I'm glad that you guys survived that night. And it just kind of leads credence to what I believe, man. These things are evil. I don't think they're good. I just don't think they've got good intentions. And, I also believe that if you see one once, your chances for seeing it again go up substantially. Why that is, I don't know. But I've talked to a lot of people on this platform, and generally if they've seen it once, they're going to see it again sometime in their lifetime. And I know you've had several experiences, but you're very believable, man, and your stories never change. And I know you don't have anything to gain by sharing that. I know that was not easy for you to do. So I appreciate you sharing that and just sharing that with our audience. And thank you again for your service, man, for what you did for our country. I appreciate that very much. I know you talked about your brother getting sick, And there's a lot of people who talk about that, where they get sick and things like that. And then you got sick. Why do you think that is? And describe to the audience if you smelled anything. And obviously you sense fear, but how did you get sick? What did that feel like?
So you asked, what did I feel? I wish I knew what my brother felt, because it hit him first. And it just, when it hit him, it's like he just immediately stopped. Just like immediately stopped. And he's just like, man, I don't feel good. And he just bent over, and he was trying to throw up, but it wasn't like he was dry heaving. With me, when it hit me, I just felt like, if anybody out there knows when you feel like you're about to throw up, your mouth starts to water, and just like all of a sudden it hit me as well. And I got real dizzy. I got a real bad headache. I felt like I was losing my balance, but I didn't throw up, and I had to take some deep breaths. Smelling something, I don't recall smelling anything really potent or anything like that. I know we smelled something when we went into the woods, but I just pass it off as maybe an animal or something like that. It was a really like thick, musty smell, like musky, definitely a urine smell. So I was just attributed to maybe skunk, deer, whatever, and when I was able to come to, get my wits about me or whatever, kind of shake it off. Maybe the first 25, 30 yards, I still felt really like lightheaded. I'm not saying dizzy, not so much fully of nausea as I felt earlier. But again, it seems like when we got to the road, it's like fresh air hit us for some reason. I feel like we came out of something, and like we were in a bubble of something, it seemed like, and then we hit that fresh air, and it kind of snapped us up, and then running, and I think, I don't know what it was. I mean, I hear people say infrasound or something like that, and infrasound is known to make people nauseous. And when I was running with my brother, trying to encourage him, I felt dread. Like, I felt like I've got to do everything I can, but I got something breathing down my neck, and I'm not going to be able to do anything about it.
Especially when you land on your back and you were able to get your keys and get in the car and take off. So I'm probably reverted back to your training from the military. I know in law enforcement, things pop up and happen, and we just go back to our training. Your body just does what it does. Your brain disengages, and I'm glad that you guys did that. And I think there's a lot of things in God's universe that we don't understand. And Satan can't create anything, but he can manipulate a lot of things. And that's why I kind of lean towards the Nephilim with these creatures and things like that. But
well, I mean, through that whole experience, like I said, this is what I heard. I heard two whistles. I heard something moving through the trees, tearing through the underbrush, but I never saw anything. My brother, however, saw it multiple times. And I think when he saw it the clearest is when it ran across the street. And that was it. Now this street is like a 2-lane street. It's not just like a single lane street. It's like a 2-lane street. And he said it moved so quick across the street. Like it was there and gone. And then when we were taking off to leave the place, he said he saw it easily 10, 15 yards or meters or whatever inside the tree line. He could see it moving, and it was like it had no problem moving through the brush or whatever. Like it was just moving. And thank goodness for V8. Honestly, if I would have been driving anything smaller, I think that thing would have, pushed it over. But I mean, people who's had multiple encounters or experiences or whatever, and things that I've read and things that I've seen and listened to, you know, you're right. You can have good and bad in anything and everything you come across. From what I understand, the Sasquatch, Bigfoot, down south they call them boogers or wood boogers. They have a bad disposition. Like, they just have an attitude about everything. They're jerks. But then when you go up to Northern California and then up in the Pacific Northwest, they just want to be left alone. They want to be elusive. They don't, and I mean, I saw something on, was it on a comment of yours, one of your shows, that someone said that their family member interacted with a family of Sasquatch around Mount St. Helens. But I think that's where Ape Canyon is as well. And I think back in the day, those miners, shot at one, and they just started raining boulders down on their cabin. So, I mean, it just depends on how you interact with them, on how they're going to react. It's just like any type of a person. Now, coming in with the Nephilim, I don't know. I haven't read the Book of Enoch. I know about it, and I understand the whole basis of believing that Sasquatch is part of the Nephilim. I personally don't believe that. Everything that I've seen, everything that I've encountered is flesh and blood. Breathes air, eats food. They're obviously, they're omnivores. They eat meat, they eat roughage, nuts, berries, whatever. They leave proof that they're around. People's found hair, footprints, scat, handprints, palm prints. I mean, it's all there. So I think I don't know, Josh. It's just, to be honest with you, I'm 52 now. I don't ever want to see another one unless I'm way, way far away. I don't ever want to have another experience like that, ever. That, like I said, that was the last one, 92. So, okay, guys, that's our show for tonight. Again, thank you so much. I truly, truly appreciate the time that you spend listening or watching my channel. Again, if you guys have had an encounter, you'd like to be on the show, please email me at thecryptidpodcast72@gmail.com. thecryptidpodcast72@gmail.com. As my brother Josh always says, stay prayed up. And as I always like to say, remember, a legend always starts with a sighting. Have a good night, guys. See you next time.
I got a strange going on out here. Something just killed my dog.
Something killed your dog?